And we are live. Let's roll the open.
Movie Leftovers.
Boom. Hard cut. We're here.
We're here,
I like your smokeless entry, your smoking entry. That's great.
right? We're back,
Yeah,
dude.
we are back.
Movie
Dressed in
leftovers
black.
time. Hey, real quick, I'm going to touch on our Twitch audience because I can't quite see the YouTube one because that's too many screens open. Flyeto followed us real quick 6 days
Oh,
ago. Thank you for
thank you.
that. Ravnica followed us 6 days ago. Thank you for that. These are two people that are community members of mine in the greater gaming community, and we love them. You'll probably get to see them a little bit more. They're highly interested in joining us right here on Movie Leftovers. I'm stoked. So thank you very much. Many blessings. We appreciate you.
Thank you. That's so awesome. I'll be happy to have them on.
Yeah. So what's new, man? What's groovy? I see you've got a fresh haircut. Number one, let's walk around the room. You're in a dark black t-shirt, which is my uniform for life. I think I've worn a black t-shirt every single time I've done this podcast. You have a baby fresh microphone. Sounds great. Big smiles. You do sound like you might be struggling with a cold a little bit. That didn't even set you back a minute. You're here. Are you good? You feel good?
Yeah, I feel fine. I don't feel like I got a cold.
Right.
Maybe just a little tuckered out. It's been, crazy life, you know how it is.
Oh yeah.
But feeling good. Yeah, feeling good so far. How about you, man?
Fucking great. If I was doing any better, I'd be two people. Two people.
I wonder what two angels would be like.
Terrifying.
Yeah. You would take over the planet, wouldn't you?
I'm not sure. I know one of us would have a lot of work and another one of us would have a lot of free time, and it would probably still amount to a grand total of not much produced. So, be like, no, you film it. No, you edit it. No, you film it. No, you edit it. It'd be that kind of thing.
Is it like Highlanders and there can only be one? Like, would you have to take him out?
No, we're allowed to be together in short periods. It's just one of those things. Yeah. You absolutely have to fade in and out. Otherwise, it's like one of those space-time things start to rip apart, So I keep him a little north of me. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I stay south.
We're here. We recently watched Young Guns.
We did.
Because we're middle-aged men watching Young Guns.
Bruh. Yeah. I have thoughts on this film.
Yeah, before we get into it, let's get into a little bit of the Rotten Tomatoes on it.
Let's do it.
And then we'll share our thoughts. So let me pull this up so I can share it with the audience. Our Rotten Tomato scores right now. The tomato meter shows that 42% of critics like the film,
while 76%
of the audience liked it. This is from 1998. 1988. Do you remember this movie come out? 1988, yes. Do you remember this movie coming out?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
I do. I vaguely remember this.
I was a wee lad.
Yeah. As was I, but I was a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember this movie was a big deal. The closest thing I could think it to is like I don't know, maybe like a Twilight or something like that. It was that pushed. The marketing campaign was really
this is cast with they're known as the Brat Pack, right? Most of that Breakfast Club era, late 80s, early 90s. You had Lou Diamond Phillips in here, who wasn't obviously part of those franchises, but like around the same come up. Estevez, who was right in the middle of it. It's kind of like, isn't that what they were called? Was the Brat Pack?
No, not quite.
Or is that the Outsiders crew with Tom Cruise and them?
Well, so the Brat Pack did include Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
But he's really the only Brat Pack member that was in this movie.
Okay.
You could argue that Charlie Sheen was kind of orbiting the Brat Pack, but he was not officially in it.
So I know Rob Lowe and like Tom Cruise
Rob Lowe, Marlene Ringwald.
Yeah, Ali Sheedy, and then but also like I think Brolin and all them guys came up kind of around the same time. So I don't know.
Right. A lot of those like John Hughes films and all that.
Yeah.
That's where the Brat Pack comes from.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but this was, same idea though. Young actors at that time frame making their way up. I mean, Kiefer was a young dude back then. So was Charlie Sheen. Terrence Stamp is in there, and he's still making film, or was until recently. This is I enjoyed it myself. I really liked the film. How did you feel about it?
I did not. My quick hitter my quick hitter observations just in the moment. This is the second Emilio Estevez movie we've done in as many weeks. Emilio turning out to be not my favorite actor.
That's fair.
This was shot as a period piece, but the pacing was so off that I kind of lost the narrative, and we'll get into that after the break. And then my standing question: would this movie have been better as just another Billy the Kid movie instead of an ensemble piece?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
So like we like to do, we do have some other audience rankings on this thing.
Yeah, highs and lows.
On highs and lows. So for the high, we have Tweetist T on Rotten Tomatoes, 5 stars. Tweetist says, "I love this movie. It has it all. If you're a normal person, you'll love it too. It's the kind of movie that you can only watch once a year, if you know what I mean." I'm not really sure what that means.
I do not know what you mean.
I'm not sure I want to know what Tweetist T means.
Right?
Perhaps there's just too many men for Tweetist T to handle.
I love the name though. Tweetist.
Yes, Tweetist. And then from Garen M, we've got 1 star. This is a very odd 1-star review. It says, "Young Guns is loaded with a good plot and convincing characters." Again, 1-star review. "But the scenery from previous Western classics, like The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, is missing."
Yeah. I'm gonna hit that same vein from a totally different angle. But yeah,
okay.
He's not articulating, I think, what he means very well. Or as stated, that makes no sense. But right on with the 1 star. And what was that guy's name?
Garen M.
Yeah. All right, Garen.
Yeah.
You need to work on those communication skills a little bit, bro.
A little bit. It's a little bit rough.
So you love this movie. What were your initial
love is a strong word. I liked it. I liked it. It was solid for me. I think what made me enjoy it more, because at first I was
word.
Love is a strong word. Yes.
Okay.
You're welcome. Love is a strong word. I was in your same camp at first. I was like, man, what is this thing? Have I made a mistake? Mm-hmm. But I decided to look into the historical accuracy of Young Guns, because in my head, I really thought that this film was what they call historical fiction, right? Where Billy the Kid was a real person, but they made up a story to throw him into, and that's it. They put a cast together because they wanted young Hollywood at the time together to be there and sell.
And years later, that's how it comes out in the film. It comes out very much like that's exactly what they did. They just kind of injected the new hotness.
Right.
And that's what that was in 1988.
So you're right. That's totally what it feels like. However, according to historian Paul Hutton, this is the most accurate portrayal of Billy the Kid as of June 1990.
Well, talk to us, Paul.
And it is a very accurate retelling of the Lincoln County War.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Regulators, the whole group of them, that was a real group.
Look through that context, then the movie does take on a little more girth, so to speak, right? Like it carries a little more weight. But for a big Hollywood movie of the time, and from a storytelling perspective, it really didn't age very well for me. And obviously, I'll get into that. But I guess that's cool. I mean, that we have historians, dudes are saying right now. Dudes are saying, this is the most historical.
Dudes be saying, dudes on the internet be saying.
Dudes are saying this is the most historical depiction of William Bonney and what was it, the Lincoln Wars?
At the Lincoln County Wars, yes.
Yeah, I didn't even know there were Lincoln County Wars out there. So,
which is
cool.
what this event was, right? Them killing those people.
Yeah,
so.
And I mean, the internet wouldn't lie. Television never did. So,
no, the internet never lies. It's just and people come to consensus on the internet all the time.
Yeah,
it's
no
such a great way for us to. Yeah, none.
Yeah.
We all bring our facts, and we're like, "Oh, I didn't understand that part." Great.
And the best versions of ourselves, it turns out. So
absolutely,
we're sure glad you've tuned into Movie Leftovers today. Yeah.
This is how we have achieved world peace.
This is it. It starts right here, man.
Yeah, it starts right here.
So okay, so what was the budget for this guy? That's the one thing that normally we have the highs, lows. You tell me what the Rotten Tomatoes look like, and then there's a loose budget and sort of the revenue generator behind this. I'm projecting that this film made a lot of fucking money in 1988 relative to its budget. That would be my guess.
Okay. So let me see if I can find the budget of the film, because I do have what it made worldwide.
Okay.
Hold on, it'll take me 2 shakes.
Yeah, no worries. Because obviously, when you're leveraging language like worldwide, it means that this was a worldwide release, so it probably has different factors, and then you've got the video replay value, you have the blockbuster factor to this. All these things were booming in the late 80s. But I know that particularly in parts of Europe during this time, Westerns were like the shit. Like, people loved American Westerns of any kind. And the Hollywood hottest actors being injected into this. So I assume this made a shitload of money.
It did in relative to what it was. So the budget was $11 million. Rule of thumb, movie math, whatever the budget is, that's generally about also what the marketing budget is.
Sure.
So roughly they're 22 million in, right? The total box office was 56 million.
Yeah.
So they made money.
That's the haul. That's a big haul.
Yeah, that's a big haul. Opening weekend, it opened on 1,387 screens and pulled in about $7 million, just over $7 million.
Wow. That's actually pretty good.
It did very well for itself for what it was.
I mean, it paid itself off in the first weekend it was out, so
just about.
I mean, for the shoot budget anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and I think that's probably where I expected it, like a factor of 4 times to maybe 5 times revenue over what the cost was. This, if the shooting budget holds true without the marketing budget, is about a factor of 4. So that's a lot of money, especially in the late 80s. But it also kind of put guys that were on the come up sort of firmly on the map as like actors that you could run with. Like I think Lou Diamond Phillips, as an example, did La Bamba just before this. And then you have Emilio and Cast all kind of coming off of their mid to late 80s films and a lot of popcorn movies. So that's where I struggled with the ensemble piece, but I'll get into that after the break.
Okay. And I did find this pretty neat calculator.
Okay.
That adjusts for inflation.
Oh, yeah, I like that. So what would that look like in today's budget and revenue?
So in today's budget, the cost of this film, so its budget in today's dollars would be $27.5 million, just about. And its haul overall in today's dollars would be $142.2 million. $140.2 million. So not bad, not shabby.
Yeah, I mean, the revenue of this film would be enough money to shoot the opening sequence of Avatar. So awesome.
Maybe. Right. So yeah, it's also films are done differently nowadays, and the costs are so much. So, but overall, great film. For me, I liked it. You had your problems.
Yeah, I attempt to solve my problem in what I do with the film if it was up to me. So
okay,
yeah.
We'll tell you what. Why don't we take our break and then we'll come back and then we'll talk about what we're going to do with it.
Yeah. Welcome back to Movie Leftovers.
There you go, baby.
We're back. It's almost like we didn't go anywhere.
We didn't go anywhere.
One of these days when we get a Be Right Back screen, I'm going to come back in a completely different outfit. Like days have gone by, maybe a full beard. I don't know.
I feel like you would look good with a wizard beard.
I look a lot like Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi with a full beard.
Oh, right on. I could see that.
So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's for me. Plus it's itchy, and I live in a climate that's extremely hot. So
right.
Less is more, Angel. Less is more. You know.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right. So how did we do this? Did I go? I think I went first last time, didn't I?
Yeah. And
okay.
It sounds like you've got a lot more to yours than I do. So I'll just breeze through mine.
We'll see.
And then we can go through yours. Okay.
Take your time. So, I mean, we just got here. We're just getting warmed up here on Movie Leftovers. But everyone that's watching and listening, Young Guns, here's Dan's take on Young Guns.
Right. So for me, because it's so historically accurate and because it's been so long since this movie came out, I would just reboot it and remake it. I would basically tell the same story. I would tighten up some scenes. I would emphasize some more drama. I would more stylize the shots. But overall, same basic structure.
We're about to make the same film.
Yeah.
Yep.
That said, my cast is going to be a little bit different, and I'm going to change some things up. So I'll start from the bottom up. I'll start with the bad guy, Lawrence Murphy. I think that's because you want to go with the spirit of the film, right? Billy the Kid died when he was like 21, so it's going to be a young guy, and all the regulators were about similar ages. So you need an older presence, somebody who's got some weight in Hollywood. So I think for Lawrence Murphy, the bad guy, the guy that Jack Palance played, I got Mel Gibson for that spot. Yeah. I think it fits. For John Tunstall was a man from England and was just trying to make his way in America. So I figured we'll get someone from that same area. So I picked Jude Law.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I think he's a good fit for this.
That's better than mine. I like that.
Well, I was going to say it's not a competition, but it is because we have people vote on this. So.
It's not, but I want to crush you at the same time. I love you, but I want to crush you. Yeah.
For sure. I get it, man. I get it. Okay, so now for the regulators. I'm going to start with the big one, Billy the Kid. I picked, I hope I pronounced this name right. Jacob Burton. Burton. He plays on Cobra Kai. Plays the character Hawk.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he can be kind of a jerk, but he can also be a nice guy when he needs to be. So I think he would be a good Billy the Kid. For Doc, Doc is a little bit of a sweetheart, but also can be tough as well. So I also picked a very popular youth show, and I picked Flynn Wolfhard from Stranger Things.
Okay, nice.
For Doc, yeah,
that's good.
For Chavez, I went back to the Cobra Kai swimming pool, and I picked Zola Madadrenia. He plays Miguel on Cobra Kai.
That's a good cast.
Yeah, now I'm going to get out of Cobra Kai and Stranger Things. For Charlie, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to add some color into this film. I'm going to add some diversity a little bit. We're going to add R.J. Kleiner. He played the Blue Ranger in the Power Rangers movie a few years ago. Yeah.
Yes, we're getting a Blue Ranger.
Yes, we're getting a Blue Ranger. He's going to be a regulator. I forget his name, the dirty guy. The guy that's always spitting.
Dirty Steve.
Dirty Steve, right.
Dirty Steve. That's right.
Dirty Steve. Okay. So for him, I wanted to get somebody that's probably not on your radar. I have seen this guy in one film before. He was fantastic in this movie. Movie is called Daniel Is Not Real.
Okay.
Great film. Yeah. And the main character on that film, Daniel, was played by Patrick Schwarzenegger, Arnold's boy.
Nice. All right.
And he plays a terrific psychopath. So him with the gun and killing people and being dirty fits to a T.
I like it.
Yeah. And then for Dick, the spiritual wannabe leader of the Regulators,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted somebody who had some acting chops, who has shown quite a right range, but could be authoritative when needs to be. I picked Cameron Monaghan from Gotham and Shameless.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wannabe Joker. So.
I love it. That's really, really nice.
So that's my cast.
That's sick, dude. I like that quite a bit. I think that I think it really fits. Obviously, if you're to modernize some of the scenes and make it, a little grittier or whatever, like this cast makes a ton of sense. I think that's really cool. Except for the Blue Ranger. I'm not sure what else I've seen him do, but good work.
He was good in that, you know.
Yeah.
It was a dramatic role for him. Like he had to play an autistic man and
Oh, right. Now I got him. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, which version of the Power Rangers are we talking about here? But then they remade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, like 5-6 years ago, that one.
Yep.
So
I like it. Okay.
All right, let's hear yours.
It's my take on Young Guns. We're gonna change the name, but right now it's a working title because the actors that I'm gonna cast for the Regulators not that young.
Okay.
So this is a reshoot. I parenthesized modernize and make gritty. This needs to be a 2-hour film.
Okay.
So we're going to keep the movie as an ensemble and remove the focus of William Bonney's character on this. So I am going to story tell and stylize this a little bit more than just historically knock out the action. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we're keeping it that way. We're moving the focus to how everybody becomes a regulator. And I'm going to kind of focus on John Tunstall the way that this film starts out. Why he left England, why he has a soft spot for these outsiders, and especially why he needs regulators. So I tried to reimagine the film a bunch of times. I literally kept writing different versions of Cowboy Bebop. I'm not joking. So I was like, okay, this is not going to... we're just going to keep the film close to what it was, more or less, and reshoot it. So the setup is that John was nearly killed in England because he was an outsider and he stole some food to survive. And somebody, and you're going to love this, who's loosely identified as Zorro-like, but English, saved him and took him in. Yeah. And then showed him kind of a better way. Right. And then a few years later, after palling around, he ends up dying and leaves John basically everything. So John comes to America to leave his old life behind and tame the Wild West, but mostly to reboot his life. Right. So he takes in the Dick character and the Doc character because they were in a similar pinch, like at a bar, and history kind of starts to repeat itself. Like he takes him in almost in the same style that he was taken in by this British Zorro, who I don't know who I'm going to cast. So as things start to repeat, we're going to kind of explore, John actually has a shitload of money, Tunstall's character.
Okay.
He was left all of this wealth by this other dude. But he's just trying to reboot and reset, and realizes at some point after taking these two in that let's just keep you around for security and move forward with an enterprising life in the West.
Okay. I was about to ask, is he still in England or is he in the West at this point?
No, he's in the West when he finds them. Kind of same pinch. They're about to get shot outside of a bar, destitute. He saves them and takes them in. So we're going to kind of explore a lot around John, a lot of what his enterprise is about, whether it's nefarious or not, I'm not too sure, or if it's suspect or not, I'm not too sure, but he needs regulators because he keeps, running into other enterprises that want to take him out. So here's the cast.
Right, it's the Wild West.
Yep. We'll start with John Tunstall, who I'm going to cast Jonathan Pryce for, and he was the main villain from Tomorrow Never Dies, the Bond film. Yeah. So Doc Scarlock, I've got Dave Franco in there. He's going to play Doc.
Okay.
Billy the Kid or William Bonney. I've got Charlie Hunnam in there.
Oh, that's an interesting pull.
Yeah. Charlie Hunnam did the Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, he was Jack.
And most recently the Guy Ritchie film about the Sword and the Stone or whatever that was.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, so the Jack Palance character, the evil bad guy, I'm bringing Matthew Modine back in the house. I want to see what Matthew Modine's up to all these years later, and I think he'd be a kind of a sick villain and more of a grittier version of the story. So
I'm pretty sure Matthew Modine lives in Spokane.
There you go. Let's call him up.
Because I've seen him around town.
So I had a toss up with Dick, so I'll let you pick who Dick is going to be.
Okay.
I want Orlando Bloom in this role because he's kind of older too. But because he's kind of older and on the cusp of this not quite so young guns, I'm thinking Aaron Paul might be good as well from Breaking Bad.
Ooh. I mean, I like them both.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like both of them were so good in their first big role. It's hard not to see them as that.
Yeah.
But man, in the Old West, you need science, bitch. So I say
Aaron Paul's going to get the nod here. Okay.
Yeah.
Dirty Steve, Hayden Christensen.
Ooh. But the problem with Hayden, he doesn't like sand. It's rough and coarse and it gets everywhere.
But yeah. I do think, have you seen the movie that he was in called Takers?
Yeah.
Okay, and he's just savage. He's covered in tattoos. He's quiet, well-dressed, well-spoken, but he just annihilates people with his hands. I think you put a little grit in his teeth, he could be Dirty Steve and just be like a real psycho. I think he's got that range.
There's another movie he's in called Shattered Glass.
I've seen it,
it is amazing. He does such a great job in that one.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun to see him as Dirty Steve. Charlie?
Okay.
Got away with the ladies, gets married, wants to go back to his wife. Got to be Jared Leto.
Yeah.
And has a breakdown at the end.
Going back to his ladies, his harem.
That's
true. Jared Leto.
It might possibly be that. Right. And then I'm going to cast Chavez as with Dev Patel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
most of these actors were I don't know, born in the late 70s, early 80s kind of thing. So they're not 20s, 21. This is a very older group of regulators, but all of them can have micro side stories about being outcasts and then rounded up and brought in as regulators. For the only one that needs to have youth and youthfulness, which I think a little makeup will fix, is Charlie Hunnam's character.
Yeah.
And he certainly has the physique.
Young guns. You just have guns.
I kind of just have guns. Yeah. It's a working title right now, but I would rather not focus on. It's hard to get Emilio in his psycho laugh and his, and then standing up and just shooting through a window and woo-hoo! We don't need any of that. We can actually we can make this a little less about that character and how bombastic he was.
It was a little over the top.
Right. I think a real ensemble cast would have probably droned that down a little bit. Nobody really punches through the screen in Ocean's 11 or 12 or 13. You know what I mean? Right. It's all just really fun to see them playing a pretty good character, and all of them killed it, right? So I would rather it not be a Billy the Kid story the way that it started as a John Tunstall story and then became a Billy the Kid story at the end. I'd rather fix that up a little bit. And of course we'll have some fun with who dies and who lives and sort of the side stories. But I really like the Doc Scurlock, Dave Franco bit. And I think I really like Jared Leto as Charlie. But I really enjoy your cast too. I like your John Tunstall.
With your cast, it's Morbin time. So
yeah,
that's the most important thing.
That's true. But yeah, other than that, I didn't have a whole lot. I looked at this and I started making notes, and over again, I came back with some weird version of Cowboy Bebop that John Cho was in. I don't know if you've seen that series or not.
I've seen it. Yeah.
It's how do we mix some Wild West in a modern way? And I just kept reliving those scenes. And I'm like, this movie's fine how it is. We just need to focus on one narrative and then expand on the story a little bit. And I chose the ensemble route with more of a regulator story than a Billy the Kid story. Whereas I think yours being closer to the script would be the antithesis of that, but with the same mindset. Modernize this, make it a little grittier. Some of the scenes were very incoherent.
Some need to be trimmed up and some need to be extended. Yeah,
exactly. The pacing of the film is what fucked the narrative for me. It's you guys edited this incorrectly. I think. I bet you the film is way different if we got the uncut version and then we could chop it into a different version of the exact same movie. Would probably be okay, but I just
felt
any
movie, man.
some yes, some are just done brilliantly, but like I just thought Emilio was just so fucking over the top in this, and it was another one where I'm like, I just came off the Mighty Ducks. I'm not sure I'm ready for you again the way I thought I was, because I went into this with high expectations and they went down. So
right.
If
only Emilio had played Gordon Bombay like this,
right,
just a psychopath in hockey, that would have been so much fun.
Just getting in the kids' faces,
yeah, just smacking the puck and just laughing maniacally.
Learn to take a fall.
Yes. As he's skating, just stick in the air, just waving it around. Oh man, that would have been a better
Casey
film.
Conway agrees to go on a date with him, and he just starts firing guns off in the air.
Yes. He gets pulled over in the beginning and just shoots the cop and drives off.
That's the best, dude. Oh my god.
It's the Young Mighty Ducks guns.
Billy the Kid Bombay, huh?
Yes.
My god. Yeah, so I don't know. It was fun. You know what it's gonna lead to no matter what? It's gonna lead me to watch the sequel. Because Young Guns 2 is available, and I'm gonna watch it probably tonight. But I don't know what to expect. I didn't read ahead and see what the film's about. I don't know if any of the cast returns, if the storyline is continued. I don't remember it. So I'm just going to go into that one blind just so I can kind of complete my thoughts on this. But I think it's a good movie. It's a good time eater movie, or time waster movie if you just want to sit down and tune out for a while. But there's so many parts of this.
Film.
Yeah, so many parts of this that could have been a lot better, I think, if they edited it differently or if they didn't focus on really odd points. Like, I don't think Charlie and the needing to see the prostitute before he dies to only wind up wanting to just snuggle with her had really any bearing on the movie other than to bring them in town so Billy the Kid can kill another dude in a bar. And it's like, I get what you're doing, but we could have found ways around that without completely starting a different character exploration piece and then not having it rewarded at all for the rest of the film. It was just gone. Like,
right.
So, I mean, it loosely weaves that like mama's boy feel to that character kind of, but you have to stop and think about it. And that's the part that was a little disconnected for me. But otherwise, I mean, besides that, like it is fun. I think Lou Diamond Phillips did an amazing job. He won the movie for me. Like he tells the story about what happened to his people and shit. And it's like, I was starting to tear up while he's screaming at Billy the Kid's character. I'm just like, oh fuck. Like he's in it, dude. And like he really brought
telling that story. I wanted to see that movie.
Yeah, exactly right. Like that type of character arc is what needs to be explored on why these people are regulators in my version of it, rather than like, I don't, but yeah, if that was a whole movie, fuck yeah, I would go see that. So for me, I think he wins the film overall just with the way it was cast originally. I think Charlie Sheen was just collecting a paycheck in this movie.
Absolutely. He read the lines.
I saw nothing from him at all. I think Dirty Steve was a lot of fun to watch. I think he did well for just acting those pieces out. But
he was trying.
Yeah, the townsfolk, and I like the actor that played. I didn't write him down, but the guy that plays the lawyer that's like a friend of theirs.
Oh, yeah. I recognize him from other stuff.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of stuff and generally kind of smarmier roles, but I like him a lot. I think he was fine. I think him and his wife had the right amount of screen time. All of that stuff made a lot of sense, but for the
Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah, that's right. But for the core group of characters, it was just kind of just a little disjointed for me. So, but I'll watch Young Guns too and see where it goes,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. So we should talk about for next week. We've already got our film picked for people so that they can follow along with us. We will be seeing quite the classic film from 1992. We will be seeing the Steven Seagal classic Under Siege.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do we wear ponytails when we do the next pod? I mean, how do we?
I mean, I feel like you have to, right?
Yeah. I'm just gonna.
We'll have to learn Aikido in time.
I'm gonna find some sort of tagline from that movie and try and weave it into casual conversation at work somehow.
Yeah, there's got to be some great one-liners in that film. So,
yeah. Well, hey, like we normally do, let us know which script you like more. I built a Discord, but I'm not ready to publish it just yet. But soon we will have a place for you to write your own scripts and you can interact with us. We're also going to bring in some guests. So we're trying to get a few calendar things straightened up, but we're really excited about this. I know there's at least one movie that's been selected in the future for one of our guests, and I'm really hyped to do that because I think it's going to be a ton of fun. And just generally meet and celebrate new people, get some content creators on here we can continue to promote, maybe bring back some old friends from Vampire Women, see if they want to critique another film with us.
Tyler wants to come back, yeah.
See if we bring Tyler back into this, John. So otherwise, yeah, man, I see you're also got a Trekcast logo behind you too. So for those of you watching this, feel free to check out Dan's pod Trekcast.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And you got your own podcast?
Oh yeah, Pathway to Being Average. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So. But then we come together like Voltron on this one, and we got movie leftovers.
And that's it. And had a lot of fun. So this has been Young Guns. We're both just going to reshoot it, and I love it.
Awesome. Bang, bang.
I'm not doing finger guns.